Hi, I'm Amy Brown, and I'm here with Wendy Dietzler, and we are part of the education team for NFMT. Welcome, Wendy. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Amy. It's great to be here.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about continuing education units.
Right.
I know it's a subject near and dear to our hearts, and we're excited to be able to offer you free continuing education units for any sessions you attend at Baltimore.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things people are always asking about, and I think we're really proud of the fact that our continuing education units are completely portable, and that means anybody who walks into any of our sessions, attends it, takes that assessment after the fact, has a CEU that they can apply to state boards, to existing designations, to a whole host of already strong educational products.
Yeah. And like Wendy mentioned, it's part of your complimentary registration, so there's no additional fee to earn some of those CEUs. So Wendy, why don't you talk people through the process of how they actually get those transcripts that then they can use?
Really what it all comes down to is your badge and what you do with it during NFMT. So what we want to make sure everybody knows is that any session that they walk into should be scanned at the beginning. So bring your badge, have one of our friendly door scanners, make sure they zap you before you sit down and take part in that session. Once you do that, we have a log of your activity in that session. So when the session is done and when NFMT concludes, you'll get an email from us with a list of the sessions you attended. And from there, you go into each individual assessment, which sounds scarier than it is. It's a 4-question quiz. Just make sure that you did retain the information that we delivered during those conferences. Once you get those, that 70% or better on your assessment, we're going to send you that CEU transcript, and that is really handy. Mm-hmm. That's, again, delivered by email, and that's a single document with all of the sessions and all of the CEU activity on it. And that's yours, as we said, in a portable way to submit anywhere and everywhere. One thing I think, Amy, you might want to talk about is the fact that in addition to those CEUs being really beneficial for existing designations, they're just good to have on your employee file as well.
Yeah, a lot of HR departments within different organizations just want to make sure you're keeping up with training. We do have a lot of federal government employees that attend NFMT. I know that there's definitely a training component to most of the job descriptions these days. So it's great just to show your boss that you actually did attend, yep, and you did sit in on certain sessions, and then keep that information for just OSHA and some other different organizations.
Yeah, and end of the year reviews too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes in our course of work, we'll go to a session on making conferences better, and that documentation is helpful as we come together at the end of the year to discuss what we can do in future years.
So Wendy, you mentioned that they'll get an email. What typically is the time frame for that email?
We do the old 7 to 10 days, and that's working days. That's not necessarily counting the weekends. With so many thousands of people coming to NFMT, there's a lot of data that has to be compiled on the back end. So we do ask for your patience while that information is being finalized, and we're making sure everything is accurate.
Does NFMT report any of these CEUs directly to different associations?
We're not able to do that, and that's something that's important to know as well. Sometimes we do have, especially in the architect community, a few questions about how those CEUs can be reported on someone else's behalf. Because of how our CEUs are maintained and granted by IACET, that's our granting body, and because they follow a specific ANSI standard, there are limits on how we can report those. So we report them directly to you, the attendee, and then you take them on to that designating body or state board or whatever. If you are an architect and are trying to work with AIA, we ask that you work closely with them to try to self-report as much of this as possible. But again, come and reach out to us if there's anything we can do to at least communicate some of those requirements as well.
Yeah, great. So I think that's some of the key points for earning your continuing education units on site at NFMT. Like Wendy mentioned, make sure you get your badge scanned. Right. Make sure you watch for an email after the conference. Take those quick assessment questions, and then you'll get your transcript that you can self-report to any different organization or licensing body. Just a quick tip before we go, those learning objectives that are in the directory and on the website are a great place to start for those true-false assessment questions. Typically they're in there somewhere, so right. Most of the information is right in the PowerPoints or in the learning objectives. Yep. So we hope to see you at NFMT. Again, there's over 120 sessions. I think the most amount of hours you can get now is 10 continuing education hours if you're attending the entire event.
Right.
So we look forward to seeing you in Baltimore, March 22nd through the 24th. Go to nfmnt.com/Baltimore to register for free.